getting started with Kraken, what I believe is one of the best cryptocurrency exchanges for all beginners, intermediate, and advanced traders. If you want to find out more about why after a year of using Coinbase, I decided to switch over to Kraken, feel free to watch my last video that I'll link above. All right, we're wasting no time today. We're going to dive right in on how to sign up for Kraken, how to get verified, how to get your funds on the account, how to place your first trade, what the different fees are, and how to navigate that. We're also going to be talking about staking so you can make even more money with your crypto. I'm also going to be talking about the difference between the Kraken and the Kraken Pro app and which one's better for you, as well as how to withdraw your funds, which is something that not a lot of people talk about and is extremely important. So if you're excited as I am, grab your computer, something to take notes with, and your favorite cup of coffee. Mine is linked down below. It's organic and mold-free, unlike Starbucks. All right, let's dive into it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Brian Logan. I'm so thankful that you are here. Before we dive in, a few things. First, there's a lot of great content in this video, so I've included timestamps down below so you can jump around. I've also got a blog, brianlogan.com, as well as a Discord channel where I love to chat with you all about all things crypto. I also put out a weekly report on the current status of the market. So if you're interested in that, feel free to join us on Discord. Secondly, it's tax time. Don't forget to check out my latest video on all my favorite tax software for cryptocurrency. And in the description below, I've got a 10% off my #1 top pick, TAXbit. So be sure to check that out. Next is the disclaimer, I'm not a financial professional, so be sure to check with a financial advisor or anything before getting involved with cryptocurrency. And lastly, I've been talking about this in my past few videos, but I've launched a new Patreon-like experience called Buy Me a Coffee. And this month, I'm actually very excited to say that I've added a new feature. So not only can you come support the channel by buying me a quick coffee, but I've also launched a new financial basics one-on-one with me. So if you need any help with your crypto or your portfolio or thinking through more questions, you can go check out that experience over on Buy Me a Coffee. Just look for the coffee and the little yellow heart below to find out more about that. So let's jump over to the computer. All right, so we're jumping right over into Kraken, and I've put the link down below so you can click on that and follow right along in your own account. So to begin, all we need to do is hit this Get Started button, and from here we're going to fill out the simple information, and that is enough to start setting up the account. All right, once you sign in for the first time, your screen's going to look a little bit different than this since I'm already set up. But the first thing you need to do is take care of some admin things. So if there are no prompts to do this, the first thing you should do is head up to your name in the top right and hit Get Verified. So Kraken is a registered exchange within the United States, which means you need to do KYC or Know Your Customer. And by doing this and uploading the necessary documents, you get different levels of tiering, gives you more functionality. So the second thing we need to do is admin. So if you go back up to your name in the top right corner and hit security, I would work your way through each one of these to make sure you have all the security features turned on. The first one is definitely the set two-factor authentication. So the way this works is you have an app like Google Authenticator on your phone. It's really easy to use. You just set it up and it basically generates a 6-digit code that on random, and you use that to verify into your account. The other thing that they offer up in security is called Global Settings Lock. So this is the only security feature I don't have turned on because I found it a little bit too restrictive for the things I'm trying to do on a more regular basis. So read a little bit more about this. You can turn it on and then turn it off after you set up a master password. After that, that's pretty much it from a security standpoint. Also up here is the API. So if you ever need to connect to like a tax software, which I've done a huge video on all of my different favorite tax softwares, with TAXbit being my #1, and you get 10% off. So be sure to go check out the video above, and I'll put a link down in the description. And when you do that, you need to set up an API, which is basically a way for your accounts to connect with different softwares. It makes it a lot easier to share information so you're not downloading different files and trying to do the connection yourself. So that's where API lives, is up in the security settings. After that, we're ready to fund. So in order to fund your account, you can go up to funding. So there's two main ways to fund your Kraken account. The first is from a bank account. So this is uploading your fiat currency like US dollar onto Kraken so that you can then trade to cryptocurrency, or you can transfer other cryptocurrencies, say if you had some at Coinbase, over to Kraken. For the latter, if you do have coins at a separate exchange, go check out my last video because I walk through how to move those coins specifically from Coinbase over to Kraken. It's really easy to do and just takes a few seconds. Today we're going to be talking about how to fund from a bank account. So if you don't have another cryptocurrency exchange, or you just need to get set up in Kraken and connect your account, that's what we're going to do. So from the funding section, what you need to do is hit deposit, and here we're going to choose US dollar, And this is where you're going to choose how much you want to deposit. So let's say we're going to put 15,000 into this account. So now we can choose the option to wire in money. So Kraken doesn't allow the ACH transfers, which is that 3-day waiting period for your bank. And this is a little bit annoying because wire transfers typically have a fee associated with them at your separate bank. The benefit of wire transfers is that they're more instantaneous. They take a lot less time than the ACH transfer. So your funds are more readily available to start trading cryptocurrency. Now, the trick here is if you live in the United States, I would highly recommend you check out Fidelity Investments. I'll put a link down in the description below. If you open a free checking account with them, they actually offer free wire transfers. So you can actually avoid that wire transfer fee by opening an account with Fidelity so you can wire the funds into Kraken without any fee. And that's what I do. And as far as choosing the different deposit methods, which one of these, I would choose either MVB Bank or Signature Bank. Either one, it doesn't really matter. After that, just be sure to follow all the instructions and be sure to include this wire transfer reference number when you do that wire transfer. Now, just a quick note, some banks don't have a location or field for this, so I actually ended up having to call Fidelity's customer service to have this note added into my wire transfer. If you mess this up and forget to add this in, don't worry, you're not losing any of your money. In fact, I forgot to do it the first time, and Kraken just gave me a call and said, hey, we see that you have funds coming into your account. We need you to verify those in order for that exchange to happen. So they were actually able to take care of it from the Kraken's end, but I would just recommend not forgetting it because if you do include it, it's a much easier process and nobody needs to be contacted. So once you do that, you now have funds in your account to start trading your cryptocurrency. So I'm going to go back to my dashboard page where you can see all my different coins and fiat currency that I have. So for you, if you just put US dollar in here, you would just see US dollar and none of these other coins that are currently in my account. So before we move on to trading, I do want to spend a few seconds here on the dashboard and what information is here. So you can see right now, there's actually 3 different views you can choose from. We are on the pie chart here, so you can see visually your different holdings and what percentage of your account that you have. You can also go back one to this, and this is a really great one. It breaks down your fiat from your crypto and your staking. So down here you can see, here's my fiat, you can see the cryptocurrency that I have, and you can see the cryptocurrency that I have that's staked. We'll talk a little bit more about staking in a minute. So it's just a really nice visual. And then the first one just kind of compresses all of it to show all of your holdings. And if you scroll down a little bit, there's a little bit more information about your trade balances overall and your ledger. So this is really cool. This is to keeping track of all of the different trades or staking, whatever is going on in your account. This is kind of the record keeping portion of it. And if you want to see more of your records or download anything, or if you go all the way to the top and hit history, now you can see all of your different transactions. You can filter by date, you can filter by different deposits and withdrawals, different currencies. And this is also where you have the opportunity to export. So if you come over to export, you can choose what type of trades and the start and end time and submit, and it will allow you to download the CSV files if you need to. So I'm going to go back to our dashboard, which shows us again all of our different balances that we have. So yours, if you're just starting out and you went through the bank account and wired your funds in, you should now see that you have US dollar, however much you wired over. All right, now we're ready to talk about the most exciting part in placing your first trade. So before we do, it's really interesting on Kraken, there's really 2 major ways to place a trade, and each of them actually have different fees. But by watching this video, you're going to know exactly what to do and how to get the lowest fees possible. So the first way is a quick buy, and this actually has a little bit higher fees than the other way I'm going to show you in a minute. So to do a quick buy, you just simply set buy crypto up here at the top. And this is where you have the option to buy, sell, or convert your cryptocurrency. So if you want to buy, you just hit buy, then you find which coin you want to buy. Let's say we want to buy Bitcoin. Then you can pre-select one of these qualifying amounts. You see the current Bitcoin price, the amount that you're purchasing, that $100 minus the fees, so that you're in total spending $100. So if you hit confirm, it's going to go ahead and place that order, and you'll have 0.00234,362 worth of Bitcoin. But you notice this fee is $1.48 for $100 worth of Bitcoin. So keep that $1.48 fee in mind, because this is the quick buy function. There's another way that's just as easy that has much lower fees. So let me show you that, because that's the way you should do this. So the second way to place a trade, and the way that you should place a trade, is actually going up to trade. All right, so this is the trade tab. And yes, it looks a little more complicated than the other screen. However, I'm going to show you exactly how to place the same trade on this screen, and it's going to save you a lot more money. So here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is select our coin. So we're going to come up to the search bar, and you can start searching your coin. For us, it's Bitcoin, which they already have listed here, BTC. When you see these are called crypto pairs. So the first one is what you want to go to, and the second one is what you're coming from. So we want to go to Bitcoin from US dollar. So we're just going to simply select this. And now you'll notice everything is in Bitcoin. So the first thing we want to check is that we are buying. And the second way is you don't actually have to work left to right. So all these different fields mean is how much Bitcoin do you want to buy, how do you want to buy it, and the total amount of US dollar you want to spend on this trade. So one way we could do this is before we chose $100. So if we want to spend that same $100, we could come to the total and we could put $100. So now you'll see when we do that, the volume updated to the appropriate amount of Bitcoin based off of the current price. Now, if you really want to truly mirror exactly what was happening on the other screen, you'll want to change this order type from limit to market. So market simply means that whatever the current price is, you want to get filled and you want to get that Bitcoin immediately. When I change it to market, you can see the price is kind of updating because it's live. It's whatever the current price of Bitcoin is. And that's why you can see our $100 is turning to $100.06, 5 cents, 4 cents. But for the sake of argument, if you want to spend that $100 and you want to mirror exactly what you did on Quick Buy, all you need to do is put the $100, change this over to market. Now you've recreated the exact same trade, but watch this. Look at this. So before, do you remember the fees? They were like $1.49. Now look at our fees, 26 cents. So for just putting 30 more seconds of effort, you're saving about $1.20 in this just trade of $100. And you can imagine the more you trade, the more amounts that you trade, the more money you're going to be saving by using the trade versus the buy crypto button up here for the quick buys. Now, if that's good enough for you and you just wanted to get into a coin just like a quick buy, feel free to jump to the next section down in the timestamps below. But I'm going to briefly explain what this limit order means so that if you're interested in doing that too, you have at least a basic understanding. Now, I've done other videos on these different order types and I'll link them down below. But for now, let's just talk what a limit order is. What a limit order says on the buy side is that you are willing to buy the coin for no more than the limit that you set. So you're willing to buy Bitcoin for $42,059.90, but no more than that. Which if we currently look at the current price up here, Bitcoin is trading for $42,067. If I place this order on the order books, I won't be immediately filled, which means my fiat won't be traded for Bitcoin immediately like a market order. So my account won't show Bitcoin as soon as I hit buy. This order means that I will only get Bitcoin if the price of Bitcoin drops to the $42,059.90 or below that. So you can see why we're talking, the price actually pulled in a little bit. So if I had placed this trade, it wouldn't have filled immediately because again, Bitcoin was at 42,060 something above this price. But since then it's fallen, so this order would have been placed and we would have gotten the Bitcoin at that point. The purpose of a limit order is essentially you're trying to get Bitcoin at a lower price than the current market is. So if you end up leaving this as a limit order, you can set exactly how much you want to spend. So that $100 that we had talked about before. And when we come in here to buy, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to show us that much lower fee than that $1.49 we were doing when we did the quick buy. Now you may notice that this fee is actually even lower than when we did the market order. It was 0.26 versus this is 0.16. And the reason for that has to do with taker and maker fees, so the fee structure at Kraken as well as Coinbase. If you want to learn more about taker and maker fees, go watch this video, I'll link above. I'm not going to spend too much time on it now, but essentially if you use anything other than a market order, you get a little bit better rate on your fees. So here, this is a limit order, so we're getting a little bit lower fee than we would on the market side. But again, if you have any questions, go check out my other video where I talk all about taker and maker and why these fees are different. All right, so that's how to place your first order on Kraken. If you're interested in learning more about those order types, or if you want to go more into this advanced trading page and go through some of what these other things mean, feel free to comment down below and I can update my videos on these different things where I talk through them in Coinbase, but I can talk through them again in Kraken and give you a little bit more insight about how I typically set up my trades in Kraken. If that's something you're interested in, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss those future videos and comment down below which things you're most interested in. All right, so now we've gotten our account all set up, we've funded it, and we've placed our first trade. So what's next? Well, the next thing I want to talk about is staking. So if you've never heard of staking, I've actually got some videos on that as well, so be sure to check those out. But staking is essentially a way to earn interest on your cryptocurrency that you own by supporting the blockchain that the coin is from. So how do we do this and what does this mean? So staking is a way of earning interest. So the best way to check this out is to go to earn. So when you go to earn, this is where you can stake your coins. So currently these are all the different coins that Kraken offers to stake. And if you check out my last video where I talk about the differences between Kraken and Coinbase, you'll see Kraken has way more coins to stake than Coinbase. In fact, this is like 15 or 16 versus Coinbase's 4 or 5 or 6. So a lot more options here, and you can see the current reward. So these are variable rates, but you can see you can make quite a bit of money by staking your cryptocurrency. And the really cool thing about Kraken and these exchanges is that you're able to move the coins in and out of the staking without any latency. So if you try to actually stake the coins on the blockchains themselves, which we won't spend a lot of time with this, but if you do that, you typically have to tie up your coins for a certain amount of time. Could be hours, could be days, could be weeks, in order to get that staking reward. Kraken has taken that portion out of it and allow you to be more liquid in your staking, which is super, super awesome. There are a few trade-offs to this on the back end that's not really going to impact you too much, but if you're curious about what those trade-offs are, go check out my other video on staking where I talk a little bit more about that. But for now, know this process is extremely easy. So you can see I currently have some Cardano, Polkadot, Solana staked, and this is so great because not only can I purchase the cryptocurrency on Kraken, take advantage of the appreciation of these coins, I can also stake these coins and earn, additional 4 to 12% on the coins while they just sit there. And all you have to do once you have coins is come to earn, find the coin that you want to stake, click on these little actions over here. You've got stake and unstake. So if I wanted to stake more Cardano, I just hit stake. Now I don't have any available. If I had some in my account, you would see it here, and all you would have to do is hit stake, and boom, it's staked and you're good to go. Now if I wanted to unstake it, potentially to sell it off, you would need to unstake first and just hit unstake, how much you want to unstake, and hit unstake. And that's it. How many times did I just say stake? Now I feel like a stake. Anyway, that's how simple it is. And again, it's just a way to earn interest on the cryptocurrency that you already own. All right, the last thing we need to do is cover how to sell your coins as well as withdraw your funds if that's something you need to do. There's 2 ways to do this again. I'm going to show you both ways and show you why it's worth spending a little bit more time to do the trade way versus the buy crypto button. So we'll do it the first way first, is buy crypto. So instead of buying, we're going to simply hit sell. So then we're going to choose whatever coin we have. So we'll stick with the example of Bitcoin. So I want to simply show you some differences in the fee. So we're going to do 50%. So that is 0.029005 Bitcoin. And you can see that's about $1,200 worth. And look at this fee, $18 to sell this. Okay. If you want to do it, it's certainly easy. I didn't have to think about exactly how much Bitcoin I had. I could just choose 25% and it was all done for me. And I could hit this and it would immediately sell. And I'd have that $1,200 in my account versus the Bitcoin. That's all well and good, but I don't want to pay $18. So if you want to avoid these high fees, we're going to go back to the trade tab. But before you do, you want to write down how much Bitcoin you have because you're going to need to know that number. So for me, I have 0.05801. And once I have it written down, I know I want to sell half of that. So I'm simply going to divide by 2 to get to 0.029005. So now I know the quantity of Bitcoin that I want to sell. I just simply looked at what I had, divided by 2, which because I decided that I wanted to sell 50%. Then I'm going to come to the trade tab. I'm going to make sure I'm on Bitcoin. I'm going to hit simple. I'm going to do sell. And this is where I'm going to type in how much Bitcoin I want to sell. That 0.029005. So now if you want to have it just like the buy crypto button, leave it on market, and now you're ready to go. So yes, it took about 45 more seconds to actually do a little bit of math and determine how much Bitcoin I needed to type into this field versus just selecting, oh, I want to sell 50% of my Bitcoin. But watch this. When I go to sell, look at this fee. It was $18 before. Now it's only $3.16. That is well worth 45 seconds to me. So if I just submit this, it'll be the exact same trade. But I'll be saving like $15, which is just awesome. So be sure to always use the trade tab in order to buy and sell your cryptocurrencies. Now, again, if you're interested in more complex orders in these different order types like the limit order and others in this advanced tab, I would encourage you to, 1, check out my sell orders video that I'll link above. It's my most popular video and I go through all of these different types of orders. So be sure to check that out. Again, comment down below if you're interested in me updating that with some more strategies as well as talking it through with Kraken, and I'll be sure to get that video up. All right, so the very last thing is now withdrawing your funds from Kraken. So to do that, we're going to go to funding, and this is where the withdrawals happen. So we hit withdraw, And this is where you can choose. So if you want to send coin to another crypto wallet, like if you have a Trezor or any other hardware wallet, or you want to send coins to another crypto exchange, this is where you would select the coin that you want to send, and it's going to give you all the public key information to copy and paste over and do it that way. But today we're going to be withdrawing your fiat from Kraken back to your bank account. So to do that, you're going to simply set your US dollar. You're going to hit withdraw, and on the withdraw side, they do have the ACH transfers. So this may be something that you want to do instead of the wire, since these are typically free. They do take a little bit longer, but it is an option. So the last thing I want to talk about specifically related to withdrawals is the fees associated. So the best way to learn about these fees, as well as their trade fees that I'll show you too, is to come up to support, funding, withdrawing cash from your Kraken account, because that's what we're going to focus on now. Cash withdrawals option, fees, minimums, and processing times. So this is a great one to read. So be sure to come here to read all the different things associated with withdrawing. For US dollar, we can simply see here all of the different options for us available to withdraw our funds, the minimum amount to withdraw, the withdrawal fee associated, and the processing time. So for that ACH transfer, there's $1 minimum to withdraw, and it's free, which is awesome, and it takes about 1 to 2 business days. All right, so the last thing on fees is trade fees. So trade fees is a little easier to find. You just scroll to the very bottom and hit fee schedule. And this is the trading fee. So the first one is that instant buy. So this is those quick buy, that buy crypto button at the top. These are those fees. However, if you hit Kraken Pro, which I'll talk about in a minute, this is that trade tab. So when you go over to the trade tab, you're trading more like Kraken Pro, and that is based off of the amount of volume that you trade on a 30-day basis. And remember when we were buying that $100, it was 26 cents when we were doing the market order and 16 cents when we were doing the limit order. Well, this is where those fees came from and why they're so much smaller than those instant buy. So I'm not going to spend too much more time on these different fees, but be sure to come check these out before switching over to Kraken so that you understand how the fee structure works and even why it's about 60% cheaper than Coinbase Pro. So with that, let's head back over to our dashboard. All right, and that's pretty much everything on Kraken. You've now learned how to set up the account, how to get verified, how to fund the account, how to do your first trade, a little tip and trick about how to use the trade button versus the quick buy, as well as how to sell and withdraw your funds. And I want to touch on just one more thing about Kraken versus Kraken Pro. So there's actually 2 separate apps for your phone, and both of them work really well. And both of them have a lot of the same functionality. You can actually stake from the apps, and I'm planning to do a whole other video just on the different apps. So be sure to subscribe below so that you don't miss that video. But what I will say is that I exclusively use the Kraken Pro app. And the reason for that is the fees. So when you go to this trade tab up here, this is trading in Kraken Pro, which are those maker taker fees that we talked about. The buy crypto, that's using the Kraken type app. So if you like the little bit simpler user experience and don't mind paying more fees, just download the Kraken app and you're good to go. If you want to pay those lower fees on a mobile device, you need to download the Kraken Pro app. And there's a few more steps to get set up with that, and I'll cover that in my next video. But for now, as you think about the different apps, be sure to use Kraken Pro if you want the lower trade fees. And with that, I think we've covered everything for getting started with Kraken. All right, so now you should have a much better understanding of how to get started with Kraken, how to place your first trades, fund the account, which app to use. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to please subscribe and hit that like button below. And if you feel like this video is going to save you a ton of time, I'd really appreciate it, and it would make my day if you head on over and buy me a cup of coffee. All right, with that, and thanks so much for watching. Remember to stay healthy, love your family, and elevate your wealth.